Hi, as you can probably tell from the title of this video up there, this is my list of 5 fictional books you should read before you die. You don't have to, obviously you'll die, whether you read them or not, but I think you should. I think your life will be a little better. So the first book on my list technically isn't a book, it's a series. It's the Harry Potter series, and if I had put all of them on separately, it would have needed to be a much longer list. I'm not saying this because it's my favorite book series ever, of all time, either. It also teaches us some stuff that we should know. These books, especially the first one, teaches about humility. Harry gets thrown into this world where he's super famous and has a ton of money when he grew up with nothing, but he's not like, treat me different, I'm so rich, I'm so famous, I'm Harry freaking Potter. No, he's like, guys, don't, calm down, just Harry. The second thing these books teach us is what I like to call the immortality complex. It's a play on the Oedipus complex, but it has nothing to do with being in love with your mom. Most people, especially young people, have this feeling that they're immortal. Nothing can hurt them. But Harry, he's thrown into life-threatening situation after life-threatening situation, and yes, I know, he turns out fine, but he almost dies 7 times. There's probably more, but... Alright, so the second book on my list isn't technically a book either. It's more of a collection of short stories. It's Greek mythology, and the original Greek myths are the best. When you read these, you realize people have been telling the same stories for thousands of years. It also shows us humans in our fundamental nature. Like the story of Hercules. He never actually killed his wife and kids, but he did anything he could to clear his name, including 12 labors that were set to get him killed. And he turns out immortal. I mean, come on. And in the Psyche and Eros story, Psyche falls in love with Eros, but never sees his face. But of course, she has to go and ruin it by trying to look at his face. We're a curious species, that's all I'm gonna say. Another example of this is Pandora's box. She's told, don't look in the box, don't look in the box, bad things will happen. And what does she do? She looks in the box. Technically, it was probably more of a jar called a pithos, but the person translating it probably mixed it up with the word pixis, which means box. A really great collection of these myths is Edith Hamilton's, which is somewhere on the screen right now. And another one for younger readers, or if you don't really feel like reading a 1,000-year-old story, is the Percy Jackson series, which I love. So the third book on my list is an actual book this time. It's called Unwind by Neal Shusterman. This book takes place after the Second World War between the pro-life and pro-choice armies, and they come to a truce where parents have an ability to unwind their child between the ages of 13 and 18. But before that, and until they're 18, kids can't be harmed. This unwinding process uses 100% of the child in transplants. In the past 2 entries to my list, I've told what they can teach us, but this one I don't really have anything it could teach us. Instead, I get questions. Like, who would be okay with this? Are we really that concerned with peace that we would sacrifice our own children just because they're too annoying? The fourth book on my list is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Not only is it a classic mystery written by the Queen of Mysteries herself, it's another thought-provoker. I have one question for you. How would you commit the perfect murder? The fifth book on my list is Looking for Alaska by John Green. French the Llama, I don't even know how to explain this book except it is made of pure awesome. You will laugh until you pee your pants and then cry until you're drowning in your own tears. And you come out of it with a strange urge to memorize last words of famous people. Morbid talent. Last thing about this book is I give it a PG-13 warning. I really think people should read it, but it can be a little mature for younger audiences. So that's my list of 5 fictional books you should read before you die, and have fun reading. I'll see you soon, hopefully.